could do that. Oh, now this is a game I've been wanting to talk about for a long-ass time! Unfortunately, I had other things to contend with. You got everything you need! Am I the only one that thought, like, the headpiece here just looked like a big stenage? Fight against the
heavy metal horde!
Okay, that's badass. Too bad that's not what they're called in the game, though. They're called the... Grain? Come on, man, that just sounds lame. Here's what you get if you don't join. You get nutting! Okay, here's some starting tips for me. Get the beam weapon, ignore the laser weapon. This manual is lying to you, it is garbage. Get these items over here, they're pretty much power-ups and health. Hold the B button down to keep firing. Don't press it in rapid succession or you'll lose health because you'll end up triggering a super attack. Sorry, I had to do that. It gives me goosebumps every time. God, I love this. Alright, here we go. I think I used the reverb fart sound effect a bit too early. I should have used it there. So the game begins, and you're firing away at enemies, coming at you from both sides of the screen while you dodge hazards and bullets. The most unique mechanic of the game is the hover. Holding and letting go of the A button will let you ascend and descend. It's a very unique shoot-'em-up for the Game Boy. One of the better offerings of this genre for the system, honestly. Too bad you completed it in less than 10 minutes! Let me show you how! Get the power-ups and the beam weapon. Congrats, you've activated
God Mode!
I noticed that a lot of people were having trouble with the bosses, and one of the reasons is for some reason they don't telegraph their attacks. But here, let me show you some tricks. Here's a tank. Want to break it? Stay right here on the top right of the corner. See? Look, just like I did. There you go. Stick in the corner. Yeah, that's how you kill this thing. It's very easy to break. Ooh, look at that dissolve. Alright, we're just gonna fast forward because we're gonna skip all this bullshit because this stage is incredibly short. See, look, we're here. Look, we're here. This is the boss. We're right here at the boss already. This guy is a lot easier than the first, in my opinion. Just fire up. There you go. Done. Stage 3, it's more the first. Alright, let's just get to the boss already. Here we go. Easily the worst and hardest boss of the whole game, because again, it doesn't telegraph the attacks, so you have to essentially learn it by trial and error. Just look at this. I never knew how to do this as a kid, but I eventually learned it. I did. And there it is. Dead. Instant. Okay, stage 4, more of the same platforming type stuff we saw in stage 2 that I skipped. But really, it's nothing too taxing. It can be a bit more difficult because of the enemies trying to swarm you and surprise you, but it's actually not that bad. I honestly do like these stages though. They're far more interesting than the odd number stages. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last one. This is going to be the last even number stage we'll see because yeah, there's only 5 stages. Ain't that a shame? I really like these kinds of concepts and ideas, but I don't know, this game just doesn't do it well. And again, these boss fights are just irritating because again, they're fucking trial and error. And thus, the last stage of the game, which, okay, I'll admit, the game is, this stage is actually pretty difficult. If you have no power-ups, that is, if you get to this point in the game and you have, like, your very basic fucking starter weapon, if you start with this, if you get to this stage with your very basic starter weapon, you will have a hard time here. But again, because of how good the beam is and how worthless the laser is, you can get through this no problem. It's really not that bad. Like, look, you can even see the enemies are trying to kill me or trying to get towards me, but they're having such a hard time. And thus we get to the final boss of the entire game. Yeah, it's occasionally just keep shooting him in the leg. Jump up occasionally to avoid getting shot from the robo-gonads. Keep firing, dodging, jump up again, go down, you'll fire a wave. There you go. And dead. This game took less than 7 to 8 minutes to beat. It is a very, very short game. I have some bit of nostalgia towards it. It's not too bad, I think. This is one of the better offerings of this kind of genre on the system, but I think Battle Unit Zeoth is flawed in its execution. Still, it's not a bad introduction to this kind of genre, though. I think that's kind of why I liked it so much. It got me into this kind of genre of games. It's why I'm also a big fan of games like, say, Gradius and R-Type. Although, the boss fights are still bullshit, so I don't think this game is not that good. For what it's worth, though, it's a good Game Boy game, in my eyes. It's well made, there's barely any glitches or anything, it's just, the difficulty is heavily skewed once you know what you're doing, but as a Game Boy game, not bad. I think there are better options when it comes to shooter-type games like this, better shoot-em-ups. So, not bad. Battle Unit Zeoth was one of those games I've always wanted to talk about and just get off my chest for the longest time, and I'm glad I did. Final thoughts? Play Vanquish instead.